Awesome. Okay. So understanding Facebook's new policies that are coming out and strategies on how to thrive with chat marketing in 2020, right? Because we want to make sure that we are doing amazing and getting amazing results with chat marketing, even in the face of some minor changes that Facebook is making. So I want to make sure that you guys know, first of all, what these policies are so that you have a better understanding of it. So that way you can use it to your advantage and be able to know what tools you have in your toolbox to use to work around these policies and with these policies, all right? Okay, so first, the policy changes. We've got to set up what that is so you guys can know what is changing. So it was starting January 15th, but now it's March 4th. So that's good because that would have been like in a week and a half from now if they would have kept with that date. So Facebook has pushed it back. So March 4th, we have some extra time. We have 2 months from tomorrow to implement these things and get these things in place. The good news is that a lot of us were preparing for January 15th with the changes. So it's kind of nice. Now we just get a little bit of extra breathing room to make sure that we have everything in place. And the other thing I also want to mention too really quick is through the end of January, ManagChat is giving free SMS and free emails. So make sure for bots that are already connected to the system. So it's not like you can go and use it right now, like if you set up a new bot account. So utilize those, make use of that, start getting subscriber numbers, things like that. All right, so the first change is that the 24+1 rule is changing to just 24. And also for future reference, because I'm going to reference it here in these slides as well, is that the 24-hour window is referenced as standard messaging, AKA you can send promotional messages during the standard messaging window, right? So that's changing. So no more +1, it's just 24 hours. So that's the first change. The second change is that message tags are being reduced from the list of 16 down to 4. And really, you only get to use 3. So I'll explain more here in a little bit with that. Subscription messaging is pretty much going away. So sorry for those of you, me included, who spent all that time and energy trying to get your page approved for subscription messaging. It's going bye-bye. Unless you have a legit news bot, like you actually, like a newspaper, TV station, you know, things like that. You have to actually apply and register under the Facebook news page index, which 99% of you, this does not apply to. So just for that reason alone, subscription messaging is pretty much not going to be available anymore. But that's through March 4th. So for example, those pages that do have subscription messaging, like my bot does, I can still use it through March 4th. So back, I guess last month in December, when I was sending out messages about my course being open, you know, obviously people ask me, hey, how are you able to, it's not like they were like trying to say I was in trouble. They're just saying, hey, how are you sending this out? And I was like, well, I have subscription messaging, so I'm making use of it, right? Might as well if I have it available to me. So if you have subscription messaging, still use it as you can or as you will, but you have about a month or 2 months left to utilize that. The other big news is that there's going to be a one-time notification API that Facebook is coming out with. So this is exciting. This is kind of a breath of fresh air in terms of adding additional benefits to having broadcasting or just messaging with bots on Facebook Messenger. Okay, so let me first real quick here, see what questions were. Hey, Andy. Hey, Greg. Let's see. Yeah, Andy, I can send a link, put a link in the comments when we're done here of the slides. Totally, I can totally do that for you. So Greg asked, after the first 24-hour period, how do you recommend getting a new 24-hour promotion? I'm going to be going over that. Jason says, I've been able to send broadcasts with no problem and am not approved for subscriptions. So you must be, you can send broadcasts as long as it fits those messaging tags. If you choose a message tag that is not, that doesn't match your content, so let's say you chose account update and you start sending stuff that's not related to, like, as their examples, like your change in like job application status or something about banking was another example. If your content doesn't match, well, then you're kind of playing with fire, and if Facebook finds out, then your page can get dinged and not allowed to send messages anymore. I'm going to go over what is one-time notification API. That was just kind of an overview of what we're going to talk about. So let me get into it. So the 4 tags for the message tags from 16 to 4. It's going to be account update, confirmed event reminder, post-purchase update, and human agent. Okay, so those are the 4 from 16 to 4. So all messages that are sent with these message tags have to be non-promotional. And these message tags have to be added to every message that is sent outside of 24 hours. So that'd be broadcasts, that'd be sequences, that'd be through Zapier zaps, through API, through send flow if you're just manually doing it, rules, anything after 24 hours of a smart delay. Those tags have to be added for it to send. ManyChat is doing a great service for those of us to keep us from getting in trouble. And ManyChat has a condition in place that if it's been longer than 24 hours and it doesn't have one of these tags, then they will not send the message. So that's nice to know that ManyChat has their back. Any engagement though with these messages will open the 24-hour standard messaging window where you can send something promotional. Okay, so that's good to keep in mind. Initial message has to be non-promotional. They click, opens up the standard messaging window. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go into a little bit about what each of these tags mean so you know and have an idea, and then you can utilize this information for your own message flows and adding the tags. So account update, you notify the user of a non-recurring change to their application or account. Here are those examples: a change in application status, like a credit card, notification of suspicious activity such as fraud alerts. That's that bank one I was talking about. You can't use it for promotional content, including but not limited to deals, promotions, coupons, discounts, obviously promotional stuff. Reoccurring content, so you can't say, you know, the statement is ready, bills due, new job listing, things like that. And you can't use it in the initial message to prompt any survey, poll, or review, okay? So again, the initial message has to be non-promotional, AKA boring, right? Okay, the second one is post-purchase update. This one is e-commerce is one that definitely comes to mind for this. Notify the user of an update on their recent purchase. Examples include confirmation of transactions, such as invoices or receipts, notification of shipment status, such as it's being shipped, it's been delivered, delayed, things like that. Changes related to an order that the user placed, such as their card's been declined, it's been back ordered, or other updates that require user action. Again, can't be used for promotional content. You can't upsell or cross-sell products or services with this initial message. Again, they click a button, then you totally can. And you can't ask people for reviews or anything like that. Okay, so the third one, confirmed event reminder. So send the user reminders of updates for events they've registered for. So for example, those of you who opted in to my message tag of for this event, I sent it with the tag, although I could have sent it with subscription and messaging, but could send it with the tag of confirmed event reminder because you opted in for this event. You RSVP'd for it, and then I was able to send it to you. So it can be used for upcoming events and events in progress. Examples: reminder of upcoming classes, appointments, or events that they've scheduled, confirmation of user's reservation or attendance to an accepted event or appointment, notification of transportation or trips, such as arrival, cancellation, baggage delay. You think about like travel, industry stuff. That would be useful for them for different examples. So again, can't be used for promotional content or content related to an event the user is not signed up for. So like reminders to purchase event tickets, like upcoming ones, like let's say they bought tickets previously for a show. Let's say you run a concert venue. You can't just remind them to purchase an event ticket for a different show. You can't also cross-sell other events with the initial message, right? You can't just send out tour schedules, things like that. Also, you can't send messages related to past events. Now, this is interesting because, like, for example, I have a client that does webinars, and so we send the replay out right afterwards. So I guess I could get in trouble for sending the replay with the confirmed event reminder tag just because it's related to, it's now technically in the past, but it also is really relevant to users. So I might be able to use the one-time notification coming up, which I'm going to talk more about here, for that. And again, you can't do any poll, survey, or review. Annie says, what if you have a weekly event? I do a weekly Facebook Live and have asked people if they would like to be notified when I go live each week on my Facebook page. Yeah, so with the fact that this is talking about upcoming classes, so the way I read it, and I know others as well, I've talked to a few other people who do a lot of events, that utilizing this confirmed event reminder can be used for if they opt in to be notified when upcoming classes or events are coming up that they want to be a part of. So for example, like I said, with my bot, I have people opt in if they want to be notified every time I go live here in the group. And I also give them the option to opt out. If you got that message, you saw no more notifies on the bottom, right? So if you no longer want to be notified when I go live in the group, then just click that button. I won't bother you anymore. So same thing. So if you are sending messages to people about information or notifying them about Facebook Lives, as long as also you're sending it to people and giving them a way to opt out, make sure you do that as well, because that's always the best, user experience for them, but also helps to reduce people, blocking your bot, deleting your messages, things like that. Okay, so the fourth tag, and this is the one you don't really get to use, even though you do use it, you don't get to choose it. So it's not one really for a choice, but what it is within ManyChat at least, like, I'm assuming you can do something similar if you use the API. But what this is pretty much live chat. So it allows people to respond to user inquiries. So messages can be sent within 7 days after a user has messaged. So the great news is ManyChat has this tag automatically added when you send a message out through live chat. So Facebook will see that this message that someone is receiving has that tag. So example, I don't know how many different examples that you need, but hey, it's for an issue that can't be resolved within 24 hours, right? Like, let's say they message somebody on a business on a Saturday and they are not back until Monday. So, or if issues require more than 24 hours to resolve, like for example, I have an e-commerce client that someone's like, hey, I want to find out the status of my order, when it's gonna, and it kind of goes back and forth. And sometimes it can take more than a day to go back and forth between the subscriber and the customer service agent. So this allows those messages to be sent. Now, there's one big caveat here. You can't send automated messages this way, obviously, and that's one thing about the live chat, right? It's not automated, it's manual. And you cannot send content unrelated to the user inquiry. So let's say, you can't go and use live chat to say, hey, we have a new sale this week, are you interested? Click here. That's not kosher. But there is one, I guess, workaround. And hey, if you want to take the time or pay a VA to take the time, whatever, I mean, I guess it's a way to do it. But this is all for automated messaging, right? These rules are for the automated messaging. Currently, there's no rules with the actual Facebook page inbox itself. So if you want, you can manually go in and send messages to people who've messaged the page previously. It would be all manual. I mean, I guess you could hit Control Copy, Control C, Control V to paste and just hit send. But also don't be surprised if maybe you get dinged or something. I've not heard of somebody doing that, so but it is out there. But this is much easier. Just use the human agent and then use automated messages within the boundaries and policies. Okay, here's the extra tag. That's not really a tag, which might not make sense. ManyChat's other tag. So as you see here, here's the other tag. So when you go and add tags to all your messages in ManyChat, there's these three: post-purchase update, confirmed event update, and account update. Okay, so those are the three you can choose from. This other tag. Now, again, as a refresher, a reminder, these tags, you need to add these to messages that are going to be sent outside of 24 hours, outside of that standard messaging window, right? If there's no tag, none of these tags that are added to your message, and it's been longer than 24 hours, then it won't send. But if it's been within 24 hours, it will send when one of these is not chosen. But if you haven't noticed, if you don't choose this other tag, then you will get a little warning box that says your flow may not send because you have not chose the content type for your message tag. The way to get those annoying little messages to leave your screen when you're working in ManyChat is to add this other tag. And what that does is will then send the message to people only if it's been within 24 hours. So add this other tag to all your flows that either don't fit one of the other 3 tags. It won't send if it's been longer than 24 hours. But also add it to those messages that will be sent within 24 hours of last engagement, including opt-in flows. So any flows that are attached to Facebook ads, are attached to ref URL growth tools, website widgets, any of that. Anything where people are initiating the action to get into the bot, add that other tag. Then that way you won't have the little orange box telling you that your flow might not be compliant. Okay, limit 50. What are you talking about, Ken? 50 what? 50 messages? I don't know what that limit means. Okay, so, oops. Okay, now here's the big awesome news. Facebook's one-time notification API. So this was just announced last week, week before last. So it's super brand new. It hasn't even rolled out yet, but it has been announced. So this is good news. In February, there's not a specific date, just in February, Facebook is rolling out their one-time notification API. So they're hearing, you know, they are in groups, they are in communities, they're hearing from ManyChat and other bot platforms that their policy changes were going to be a big damper on businesses. And there were a lot of people that were going to not necessarily jump ship from Messenger, but they just weren't going to utilize paid messages because sadly they don't work as well as broadcast, right? They just don't. So that they were going to just utilize other modes and other channels to get people to come back in. So it was going to reduce actually probably a lot of messages going between businesses. So this will allow a one-time notification message sent from a business to subscribers who have explicitly requested a notification to be delivered to them that has information that's time sensitive and are personally relevant to the subscriber. So use cases examples include price alerts, you know, like things have changed, back in stock alerts, and tickets now available for sale. Those are the use cases that Facebook listed. The other things I'm thinking of are like reminder to use your coupon, right? Like right now for a lot of coupons, especially like I think of my birthday campaign I have on with different clients that I say, okay, you know, I send them their initial coupon, but then I want to send them a reminder 3 days later. So that can work as a one-time notification message. Let's see. Greg says, oh, live messages can, yeah. So Greg says, are these tags required only for automated messages? Are they required if you're sending a manual message outside of 24 hours? No, so the manual message outside of 24 hours is the human agent tag, which is automatically added as you are responding in the live chat area of ManyChat. Hey, Anna, nice to see you. Okay, so the one-time notification API isn't a replacement for subscriptions. So it's not the same thing. So where subscriptions include like a business sending multiple messages to people on a recurring basis, right? So you think of, you know, newsletters, things like that. This is not that. This is totally different. And also, and I guess I'll give a little bit a difference of it with it not being subscription. So what it is like it states, a one-time notification. So people have to opt in for this one-time notification. And it can only be sent once. So they opt in one time, they get one message. It's not like they opt in one time and then they can get multiple messages after that. No, it's they opt in one time and they get a message. And then if the person engages with this message, then again, the standard messaging window will reopen. And this is interesting, and I hope Facebook adds some more clarification on this, because if you are, let me go back here. These are the examples that Facebook gave. Price alerts, back in stock alerts, and tickets now available for sale. To me, that sounds promotional, right? Anybody else think that sounds promotional? To me, that sounds promotional. So then if they're saying that if the person engages with the message, the standard messaging window will reopen. Well, standard messaging is that 24-hour window. So maybe you can send something else that's different from the one-time notification content, right? So let's say they wanted to, they opted in for a back in stock alert for an e-commerce store. So let's say then the e-commerce store says, hey, the shirt that you were wanting to know when it's back in stock is now back in stock. are you interested in, or, just having a button, have a call to action of some sort. When they click on that button, then you could say, oh, by the way, we have a pair of pants that really goes well with the shirt. Would you like to order the outfit or something? So that I can say where it could be a standard messaging window that relates to other information that's not related to the subject of the one-time notification. Does that make sense? Yeah, Lynn, price alerts and tickets for sale. Sounds promotional. So I'm assuming it has to be a standard messaging window to reopen for other things. So not just the one-time notification of the initial message to them. Okay. The other big change is the reduction. Wait, did I do? Yeah, I didn't talk about this. I initially did, but the other big thing is the 24+1 to 24. So this is the standard messaging, right? Pages will be able to send promotional or non-promotional messages within 24 hours of subscriber last engaging with the bot, okay? So the big thing, though, is what counts as engagement. So opting in, clicking a button, which includes a static button or a quick reply that sends back a message. A button that goes to a website does not count as engagement. So if you ever want to send a message that has a button that goes to a website, always have that first button with they click, send another message that then gives them the website, right? Because then that opens that 24-hour window again. And then also if they type or send a reply, then that also counts as engagement. So this is what I get a lot of, or I see a lot of. So after 24 hours, my ManyChat subscriber list is useless. What's the point? Because after 24 hours, I can't send them a message. They're dead to me. This is my response. No, they're not. So who was it earlier said, how do you get them to re-engage? Greg, here you go. Get another 24 hours for a promotion. This is what you do. So Messenger is still one of the best platforms to connect with customers, right? We know the numbers. We know the fact that so many people are on Facebook and people have Messenger. It's a legit awesome platform to connect with customers just for the engagement and the open rates. So with that being said, you just have to shift your thinking and your strategy to be omnipresent on multiple channels, right? So if the first 24-hour window closes, you can re-engage your subscribers to bring them back in to open that 24-hour window again. And also utilize and keep in the back of your mind the one-time notification in your wheelhouse of your tool bag, right? Of all the different tools, and using that also to re-engage them because that reopens that 24-hour window. So there are a number of ways, both paid and organic, to re-engage your subscribers and bring them back into Messenger. Email, super simple. And also it's a list that you own. That and SMS lists, you own those lists. So make sure if you're not already, you need to be getting your email addresses from your subscribers. Please, please, please start today if you're not doing that. SMS, right? Text messages have about equal open rates. They are a little bit different in terms of functionality. You can't send, although I did see a photo in a SMS message I got from, I think, the Red Cross the other day. I'm like, whoa, there's a photo in here. But with also upcoming iMessage and RCS messaging, there's going to be buttons. So SMS is going to be in line with Messenger for sure here in a little bit. Let's see, what was the other question? Oh, sounds promo to me. Yes, it does sound promotional. Paid messages. Yes, there is definitely a use case for paid messages because you can reach your subscribers in Messenger. You just have to pay for the messages, which are not really that expensive. Facebook page posts and comment growth tool obviously are another way to get people to re-engage, to get them back into Messenger to reopen that 24-hour window that you can then send future messages. You can send a promotional message to them within 24 hours. Of course, newsfeed ads are another way. Your website widgets, people interact with your customer chat widget or a pop-up or a button, some embedded widget, utilizing that traffic. If you're not using your website traffic currently to get subscribers into your bot, you are missing out on a ton of potential subscribers that you are, if you're paying like for Google AdWords already, you might as well get them in to your bot for future messages and to re-engage with them. the ref URL link, posting that as an Instagram post, in Facebook page posts. If you have a Facebook group, posting them in your group, anywhere that you can utilize that ref URL to get people back in. QR code. So if you have a physical location or if you sell physical products, using that QR code to get them to scan to get them back into Messenger and re-engage, that will then reopen that 24-hour window. So the most important thing, though, you need to do is to have a plan, right? You got to have a plan. So plan your multi-channel strategy in order to be the most efficient with your resources, which are time and money, and provide value to your subscribers as well. So that includes not only the multi-channel, or one piece of that multi-channel then is also the one-time notification API, right? Knowing that you have that in your back pocket to utilize, and making sure that your messaging and your overall messaging strategy on multiple channels is the most efficiently done. So that way, if you do pay for SMS, like I said, though, through into January, they're free through ManyChat. And also another point is that SMS is now available, obviously, in the US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and Canada. Yeah, those are in the UK. And then it's coming to Australia like any moment. So, and then there's other countries that are coming too. But even if you don't have ManyChat SMS yet in your country, you can totally use, Twilio, other SMS platforms as well. But make sure you have that strategy in place. You can have a big overall view of what you want to utilize, from the beginning to the end of your funnel to get people to come back in, and utilizing your resources to provide that value, and then using the 24-hour window as much as possible to your benefit. Comment post. What are you talking about, Eric? Comment growth tool? Yeah, I listed that. Okay, so strategies. Got to have the strategy, right? So here's some strategies. Plan it out for your specific marketing funnel. When someone opts into your messenger, how will you maximize that 24-hour window? Now, I'm not saying be spammy. If you really can't provide any valuable content in that 24-hour window, just don't do it. If you can, great. But if you can't, don't make it seem forced, right? You don't want to be super spammy. It's all about making sure that you're providing value, and that it's not necessarily quantity, it's the quality. But you can easily come up with a follow-up message within 20 hours, 23 hours, just to follow up with the previous message and asking them a simple question that they answer, that they click a button, and then that reopens that 24-hour window again. I'm not saying doing that every single day, because that can get annoying, but at least opening up that 24-hour window, so then that way, maybe 24 hours after that, you can do a reminder message of some sort. Another thing to keep in mind for strategy is, are they opting in as a lead for something into your bot? Are you asking for their contact information? Make sure you ask them to opt into SMS and or email. And earlier this week, I posted a link. It's a template for being able to ask people for their SMS. Always though, like if you're going to provide a coupon, if you're going to provide some sort of lead magnet or something within Messenger, always ask for their email beforehand. People are used to giving something in order to get something. So at least ask for their email. And then you can follow up after they get that you've given them something of value. Say, hey, give them some sort of incentive to then opt in for SMS. Use email and or SMS for your short-term and one-to-one follow-up strategy. Also, you can use the one-time notification as well if that works for your use case. Use email, SMS, one-time notification as reminders and get them to click to re-engage inside of Messenger, which will then give you that 24-hour window again to use. Again, if it is good strategy. Got to make sure you're making it a good strategy. Paid messages are a great way to reach your subscribers for a low cost. The big benefit, because with 24+1, we've been so used to like having clickbait, right? Like, hey, how's it going? And you put a button, good. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, you clicked it. Okay, I'm going to just spam you with something salesy and promotional, right? So this way it reduces that clickbait type of messages that you can actually just send a promotional message from the get-go and don't have to worry about losing. I mean, I'm sure if you look at your past messages that you've sent that have been, within 24+1 or have been outside of 24+1 where you're getting them to re-engage, you see how many people have sent to, how many people actually read it, and then how many people actually clicked it. So there's usually a good number of people who saw the message but didn't click. And you could have had an amazing offer that you were like giving away the world in your promotional message, but you have to be, you know, non-promotional in that first message. And all those people who saw it but didn't click, they missed out, right? So this way, paid messages is they can be, you can send that cool promotion message that is relevant, right? You got to make sure it's relevant to your user. That's something that they'd be interested in, and get them to click on the initial paid message. If you have a call to action that results in sales, reverse engineer how many sales it will be required to make an ROI of a paid message campaign. So for example, let's say you have a client or you have an e-commerce store and you make on average about $50 every purchase, right? Everybody, your average cart value of a customer is $50. And let's say you make 50% of that. So let's say you make $25 off of every sale. So if you think about it, you can then reverse engineer how many sales will be required to make an ROI on a paid message campaign. So if you know that it's about 3 cents a message and you have X number of subscribers, then you know that you can reverse engineer that based off of your numbers, that you need X number of people to purchase at least to give you an ROI and then some on your paid message campaign. Let's see, Greg says, please clarify this case for me. Let's say someone had answered yes when a realtor asked if they wanted to be notified if a new house became available. Can you still send them updates when a new house becomes available with these new rules? With the one-time notification, yes, because that would be like a back in stock type of notification, right? So it would be only one-time message though, unless you utilize a strategy with SMS or email that then you can send it to them multiple times. But within Messenger, if you use that one-time notification, if they opt in that one time, then you can send it to them and they can be opted in. And then when you send them that message, have another button on there saying, hey, do you want to know the next time we have another house on the market? Click below, and they click yes, then that opens that up again where they can get that one-time notification again. Paid message audiences have to be greater than 1,000 to work, right? No, it actually has to be greater than 200. But even with that, I've tested paid messages on a page that I'm the only messenger connection on, and it sent to me. It took 18 hours, but I got it. And I was a audience of 1. So they do say at least 200 though. But even also I've seen people say they've got thousands of subscribers and they send out a paid message and it doesn't deliver to everybody. So there are some different things with the paid messages where algorithm things with Facebook that comes into play. One rule that I know of for sure is a person can only receive 1 promotional message a day from any page, any promotional message from 1 page. So that's where it can cause, paid messages to take a little bit longer to be delivered. Okay. Chuck says, if you send an SMS message via ManyChat and they respond, does that open new 24-hour window, or is it only if they respond via Messenger? So if they respond via SMS, no, that doesn't open Messenger because they have to respond inside of Messenger to open that 24-hour window for Messenger. Now with SMS and ManyChat, you can have the link that will take them to a message in the flow, right? If you have that set up, that link acts like a ref URL. So it's like having them opt in through a growth tool. So that does open up that 24-hour window, and you can actually send that initial message that can be promotional. And then when you click that, that gives you that 24-hour window after they click that. So that's where the strategy with utilizing managed SMS is really awesome. Claudia says paid messages don't work. They do work. They just aren't as good as broadcasts, and that can be frustrating for sure. And I know Facebook is working on trying to make that better. Just because, like I mentioned earlier, we're so used to ManyChat's broadcast where you say, okay, I want to send it to these people with this tag and at this day and time and schedule, and it sends within, depending on how many subscribers you have, it can send within a few minutes or within, half an hour to an hour. If you have a lot of subscribers, it can take a while, but it is a lot more responsive than Facebook's paid messages. But paid messages do work. It's just, there's a lot of different things like bid control and all these other things that makes it a little bit more complicated, but they do work. You're welcome, Anna. Okay. There are so many different ways to connect with subscribers, right? So you need to make sure that you're in the mindset of testing and finding what resonates and works best for your business and or your client's business audience too. You know, depending on the demographic, do they open emails? You know, are they usually older demographics that they open emails more often? Younger demographics, obviously Messenger, SMS work really well. So you want to make sure that you test, and find what resonates and works best for your business or your client's business. So some of you though might be like, okay, this is awesome. Thanks, Mackenzie. You clarified so much for me. This makes it so easy. I understand now what this all means. But I know some of you might be still lost or not sure about how to use these new messaging policies for your specific use case and how best to create a strategy that will allow you to win with chatbots in 2020. So nothing to worry about that. I can help you for sure. Let me answer this question real quick. Ben says, so I can't ask how someone's experience was after they visit a restaurant with the new tag system. You can if the message fits one of those 3 tags, the initial non-promotional message, and then they interact with that, then you can ask them about their experience. You might be able to use post-purchase update just to say, hey, I want to thank you for coming in or something, and making your purchase or becoming coming in and buying your meal at a restaurant. And then when they click that, then you can like say, hey, you know, how was it? Do you want to leave a review or whatever? Okay, so nothing to worry about. I can help you. So I want to give you guys this option of a 30-minute Crush 2020 chat marketing strategy sessions that I'm putting together, because I know people are saying, this is great and all, but what about my use case? What about, like Ben just said, what if I had this specific restaurant that I want to do X, Y, and Z, right? You know, what if you have, you know, a specific type of client that you're like, okay, this sounds great and all, but how do I use it for me? Or how do I use this for my client so I can crush 2020 and make sure I keep this client paying me month after month, that you can get them results, right? Well, I'm giving one-on-one 30-minute strategy sessions where we'll discuss your business and goals utilizing chat marketing and utilizing it within these new rules, and also with omni-channel marketing as well, not just Messenger, but also SMS and email. It'll be done on Zoom, and I can share my screen, you can share your screen, and we can talk about and get you set up with a solid bot strategy around the new policies. So everything is recorded also, so you can go back and watch the replay at any time. Ask anybody who has done one of these strategy sessions with me. It's like, a lot of times it's like a fire hose to your face with how many different strategies and ideas that I'm giving you. So you can go back and watch the replay so you don't have to take notes. You can just kind of absorb it all in and then go back and implement if you want to or utilize those strategies that we talk about, you know, even at a later time, but it's all recorded so you can access it. Normally I charge $4.50 an hour for these strategy sessions. Yes, people purchase this and they get a lot of benefit and value from it. But because I want to help you guys to have a solid strategy to crush 2020 and succeed with chat marketing, I'm slashing the price. So the special price for these 2020 sessions is only $150 for 30 minutes. $150. We'll cover everything about your strategy and get you all set up for $150. So if you are on the fence about with your client about like, man, I don't know if I can get them results with chat marketing, $150 if you invest in that to end up getting 10 times that in terms of monthly recurring revenue from them, I think is totally worth it. There are limited spots available and for a limited time. You know, I'm not going to be doing these strategy sessions in June, right? We're going to do this before March. You know, I'm going to help those who don't procrastinate and wait till the last minute. So those of you who want to sign up, you can at bit.ly/crushbots2020. And actually, I will put that link here in the group so you don't have to try and type it all in, because also with Bitly, well, with really any type of link, if you put it in the put it in with like capital and it should be lowercase or vice versa, it kind of gets screwed up. Okay, here is the link. So you can do that there. Yeah, Ben is one that I did a strategy session with. We discussed a ton of stuff, and yeah, it's just like, I love to over deliver in these strategy sessions, because one, I know that they're being recorded, so I don't have to make sure that you are 100% like getting everything in terms of, writing everything down and stuff, and you can ask questions and go back and forth, and I want to make sure it's useful for you. So let's see. Thank you, Bridget. Yes, I also did a strategy session with Bridget. That was a lot of fun. Douglas says, I have 2 separate businesses. Can I schedule 2 separate sessions? Yes, you can definitely do that. And I guess that's the other thing. If you want to sign up for multiple sessions because you want more than 30 minutes, like if you want an hour, then you can sign up for 2. It'll still be less than $150 less than if you paid for a full hour strategy session with me. So this is a big, big discount. Take advantage of this if this is something that you know that you need to utilize for yourself or your business. So Greg says, have you thought about the possible times for class next week? Yes, actually. And for the Get Clients Masterclass, people, I'm actually sending, after this, going to send out in the Messenger group chat. If you're in, you better be in there. If you've gotten into the Get Clients Masterclass, I'm going to be sending a poll out for next week to find out what's the best time for people. I was going to do it yesterday, but I had a lot of things that happened yesterday. So I was just like, okay, well, I don't want to send it at like, midnight, because I'll just do it in the middle of the day. So yeah, so if anybody has any other questions, be sure to ask them below. Again, limited spots are available, and only through, I'm opening up my calendar through February. So, and also if you want to do this, but like, let's say you live someplace else, like on the other side of the world, and there's a time and a day that just doesn't work for your calendar, send my bot a message and let me know, and we can figure out a day and a time that works. That maybe, on a day that, I normally cut off my time at like, 3 o'clock or whatever, that, because I have to go get my kids from school and then have to go take them to jujitsu practice or gymnastics practice or whatever, that, I can open up my calendar, maybe after that, for your strategy session. So, yeah, anyways, I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I really wanted to dive in and give you all the nuts and bolts and everything that's going on with these new changes, and being able to know that really this is just the beginning. And actually, I think this is a blessing in disguise that Facebook has made these changes, because it's getting a lot of us woke to be like, oh my gosh, I do not want to rely just on my Messenger subscriber list, because you don't own that, and you don't own the sandbox that we're playing in on Facebook, right? So being able to utilize other channels, and ManyChat obviously has known that too, and that's why they took the initiative back. They found out about Facebook coming up with these changes ahead of time, so they started implementing and getting SMS and email into ManyChat itself to make it easier for us. So, and not only that, I mean, there's other platforms that are coming. So RCS, iMessage, well, Instagram, obviously that's Facebook rules still, but still that's another platform. WhatsApp, again, Facebook. But being able to use a omni-channel strategy, for those of you who are like on the fence about even like jumping into bots, you should, because it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get more robust. So definitely be utilizing chatbots in 2020. Don't let these little small policy changes change anything or scare you from not jumping in and creating bots for yourself or your clients. So anyways, with that being said, thanks everybody. And if you have any questions, if this is on the replay, you have any questions, please post them below and I will answer them for you. So great. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. All right. See ya.